Chaos continues in Ferguson, the violent protests taking place in Missouri.
We are one of the most diverse cities in the country. But that doesn't mean that we doesn't have our share of Ferguson's problem, because we do.
Plus, reaction here at home, what one group wants to happen in our community after the controversy there.
Legally, can I? And the question I answered myself was, I have to. If I don't, he will kill me if he gets to me.
The man behind Michael Brown's death, Darren Wilson, breaks his silence. We bring you his interview.
Welcome to a brighter morning. This is 8 News Now with Kirsten Joyce, Sherry Swentz, and Brian Loftus.
On a good Wednesday morning. Thank you for waking up with us. I'm Kirsten Joyce.
I'm Brian Loftus.
And I'm Sherry Swentz. We're talking pre-turkey Wednesday, right?
Yes.
It's on.
It's travel coming up here.
Yeah, lots of travel, messy travel on the East Coast, too, that you're going to have to deal with if you're headed back that way.
The pie line at Marie Callender's was about 50 deep yesterday. It has already started.
You did that line. Good for you.
We went in and ate pie inside and then went back out
Oh, my
with
gosh.
the pie.
You're brave.
I was
Yes.
gonna say, yeah.
So we'll have news, traffic, weather ahead. Now we're going to get into our top stories.
Violence erupts for a second straight night in Ferguson, Missouri. Protesters took to the streets angry after police officer Darren Wilson was not indicted for the shooting death of 18-year-old Michael Brown.
Meanwhile, as Susan McGinnis reports, Wilson says he has a clear conscience. He was just doing his job.
They can't break us if we together.
Protesters faced off against police standing steps away from officers in full riot gear. But the relative calm of the night was interrupted by violence yet again. The tension led to looting. A lone police vehicle was attacked and set on fire. Authorities rushed into the crowd and released tear gas.
Compared to one night ago, the National Guard is a larger and much more visible presence here tonight. Protesters are being ordered to disperse or face arrest.
Get out of the street.
The threats did little to ease the overwhelming sense of injustice expressed by some demonstrators.
Darren Wilson was able to murder someone in cold blood, if you ask me, on a teenager, and nothing was done for it.
Following Monday's grand jury announcement, Officer Wilson broke his silence. In an interview with ABC's George Stephanopoulos, Wilson described firing a series of shots at Brown after a foot chase and an initial altercation in his squad car.
He gets to about 8 to 10 feet, and as he does that, he kind of starts to lean forward like he's going to tackle me. And I looked down my barrel of my gun, and I fired, and what I saw was his head, and that's where it went.
Right in the top of his head?
Yes.
Questions have been raised over how the prosecutor's office presented the case to the grand jury.
A first-year law student could have did a better cross-examination of the police officer shooting an unarmed person than this prosecutor's office, and it's just troubling to this family.
Attorneys for Brown's family hope an ongoing federal civil rights investigation will lead to charges against Wilson. Susan McGinnis, CBS News, Ferguson, Missouri.
Darren Wilson is still on paid administrative leave.
In addition to protests across the country, we're also seeing reaction, of course, right here at home. We spoke with some local ministers and a former lawmaker who say police shootings are still a big problem. So they want more conversations with local law enforcement regarding deadly force.
We need kind of some type of policy that the people would be assured if anything happened like Ferguson, that the community would be engaged.
This group is already arranging meetings with Sheriff-elect Joe Lombardo and District Attorney Steve Wolfson. They want to keep lines of communication open between the African-American community, law enforcement. They also want all police officers to wear body cameras and have them in their patrol cars.
We're going to switch gears now and get into this continued beautiful weather. It has been gorgeous this week, and it's going to kind of keep on coming.
Yeah, it really is for us. We've got just a great Thanksgiving to look forward to, and good shopping weather if you've got all your sale ads lined up or on the computer, your emails in order.
Some people do. They're very organized like that.
And by some people, we mean
not
you.
Me.
I got a few emails that I've saved that have been coming in for the last week or two.
Do you have a plan?
I don't have a plan, but I've seen a few enticing ads. Let me say that. And I'm trying to figure out how am I going to get there, right?
You can do it.
Got to work on Friday. All right, we're clear. We're cool outside. It's nice. Beautiful shot from our stratosphere camera. We've got really calm conditions. Absolutely nothing to complain about for us here in Las Vegas. We've got 40s right now, mid 40s at the airport. Made it into the beautiful 60s yesterday. Today we get a little bit closer to 70 degrees, and then we just keep pushing that up to 70 plus by the time we get to Thanksgiving. 20s up the road in Ely, 31, just barely below freezing in Reno, some 50s along the coast. Really pretty quiet across the west if you're traveling on this side of the country today. Up farther north, we've got rain and snow in the Pacific Northwest, but again, it's the East Coast where the travels get really pretty gnarly, if you will. Mid-50s by 9 a.m. On our way to 60s by noon, and we're going to be looking for those upper 60s today. Again, a lot of neighborhoods will be getting close to 70 degrees, so we will be talking more about that nor'easter that's forming along the East Coast, and you could already see all the heavy rain the mid-Atlantic states. Kirsten will cover that national forecast in just a little bit.
All right, check back with you then. Thank you, Sherry. Well, this morning, 154 drivers dealing with citations after not stopping for a turkey in the road. The turkey, of course, really a police officer looking for drivers who did not yield to pedestrians in a crosswalk. The big, bright orange turkey trotted at the intersection of 8th and Charleston. Metro says the idea, of course, was to increase awareness about pedestrian safety. Dozens of pedestrians have been killed in traffic-related accidents this year alone. Let's check in now with Dimitri and see how things are looking at this hour.
Well, unfortunately, another accident to report, this time on Koval, just south of Flamingo. This is real close to the Platinum Hotel, if you're familiar with the area. To get around this one, you can use Harmon to kind of stay away from Flamingo, and also Paradise or Las Vegas Boulevard will work instead of Koval. For the rest of the valley, no other accidents really slowing you down. Our freeways look great. Henderson, your drive looks very smooth coming up northbound US 95 and southbound 95 for those of you who live in the Centennial Hills area. Certainly won't be slowing you down, but I want to pay close attention to the south part of the Beltway. 215 right around Warm Springs area. Now, for the past few weeks, we've been seeing cones out in the eastbound lanes and also the westbound lanes here. Just not the case this morning. The county was scheduled to wrap up work along the South Beltway around this time, so I'm hoping they stick to that. But as of right now, no delays out there. Nothing slowing you down. Over to you, Brian.
Thanks so much, Demetria. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, but some shoppers are already camping out for Friday.
We got some snacks. Like I said, we have Cliff Bars. We have some fruit snacks. Of course, we have our phones. We like to call this urban camping.
You need those Cliff Bars. This group of friends get together every Thanksgiving to camp out for some great deals. They're outside the Best Buy at Marks and Sunset, that's in Henderson. Despite their families thinking that they are crazy for spending the holiday this way, they say it's actually a whole lot of fun.
They always come up and ask, like, oh, what are you even getting? Like, what are you doing out here? You guys are crazy. It's pretty interesting, honestly. It's a fun experience.
This is the 5th year the group has camped out.
Where are the barbecues?
You're having Cliff Bars instead of turkey stuffing and pie. That's quite a trade-off that I could not buy into.
But good for them. They obviously want some good stuff, and they're going to get it.
They're going to get it. Cirque du Soleil is making more changes to one of its more popular shows on the Strip.
Well, you'll soon see added into Ka that may have some of the audience feeling a little uneasy. Ten past the hour now, a man who pled guilty to shooting a woman not once but twice will spend 18 years to life in prison. Ricardo Perez told police he accidentally shot a woman back in 2012. But he says when he drove out to the desert to dump her body, he realized she was still alive. So he shot her again, killing her. When asked why he didn't take her to the hospital, he said, quote, thought she would die anyway.
Police need your help with a homicide investigation. A volunteer search and rescue group found 41-year-old Julia Garcia, pictured here if you could take a look, 2 weekends ago near East Lake Mead Boulevard and Popco Road. She's also known as Julia Lopez Maravilla, and the coroner says she was strangled. Police say she was last seen on the 5th of November in the northeast part of the Las Vegas Valley. If you know more, please call Crime Stoppers, number 702-385-5555. Clark County firefighters, Metro Police, and federal agents are calling a fire at a local church suspicious. The fire erupted last night at the Iglesia Cristiana Church near Las Vegas Boulevard in Cheyenne. It's actually in a building with the Nevada Transmission and Auto Repair Shop. Metro was called in to assist because there were initial reports of a man with a gun on the property, but that turned out to be false. We are told investigators with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives were also on scene, but Clark County firefighters would not elaborate on why.
Cirque du du Soleil is bringing back a battle scene to one of its Las Vegas shows. It is the same scene where one of the performers accidentally fell to her death last year. A rope holding Sarah Guillaume-Guillard snapped during a performance of Ka at the MGM Grand, killing her. Afterward, the scene was taken out. Cirque du Soleil announced earlier this week it will finally reintroduce that scene.
Well, it has been around for more than 20 years, but over time it has seen neglect.
Yes, how one woman's acts of kindness, though, transformed an overgrown tortoise garden into a unique learning experience for children.
Plus, an 8 News Now exclusive video of a burglary in an upscale neighborhood that one resident says may be an inside job.
One teacher is being credited for bringing students out of the classroom into the learning garden. You'll see why her hard work had the school's principal and members of the community nominating her for our Acts of Kindness.
I think Dr. Dobry has the saw at the moment.
Rehabilitating this cactus and tortoise garden at Robert Taylor Elementary School is a labor of love for 5th grade teacher Cindy Carr.
It's not quite 1.5 acres, but close. I thought, what a great opportunity for an outdoor learning environment for like the entire school.
Cindy Carr, and I'm not even sure why, decided she was going to make it her project. My guess is actually she's the person that likes the toughest project going.
More than 20 years ago, it began as a Boy Scout Eagle project. After years of neglect, it became severely overgrown. Last August, Cindy reached out to the cooperative extensions, Master Gardeners, the Boy Scouts, and many other organizations, gathering volunteers, parents, staff, and students to bring this garden back to life.
I saw her spend most of her summer beet red with cactus prickers, and she would come here several times a week to make sure the turtles got fed.
But just in case they venture out, we want to make sure that they've got a little bit more to eat.
She spent her own money buying edible plants for the tortoise habitat and placed many calls rounding up other volunteers to weed, prune, and install irrigation. Cindy and her students are putting new rock now for a bird section and planting for next spring. Their garden is very healthy.
For this particular school, I think the kids have the opportunity to do many things that they don't get to do at home, either because they don't own a home or they don't have land to plant.
You get our Acts of Kindness Award for all you've done here for the students.
Thank you so much.
And on behalf of Channel 8, along with that is $800.
Thank you so much. I'll get to buy a ton of plants with this.
Students do their art, math, and reading out here, and of course, Cindy's got more plans.
Hopefully with another Boy Scout project, I'll have picnic benches, so you'll have to check back with us because it's gonna be ever so changing.
Oh, and we will. If you know someone you'd like to nominate, go to our website, 8newsnow.com, click on the Acts of Kindness tab, or send us a direct email, actsofkindness@8newsnow.com.
So many of you are looking for some ways to give back. We can help you with our eNews Now United Way. Be the change opportunities of the week. The USA Table Tennis World Championships needs volunteers to help with their huge competition. It runs from December 16th through the 20th. And Eagle Quest of Nevada needs volunteers to wrap holiday gifts for families in need. For more on this opportunity or to find other opportunities, simply go to 8newsnow.com and use the keyword volunteers.
I'm bad at wrapping gifts. What about you guys?
Horrible at it. Actually, I'm so bad I don't even have to put my name on it.
They just know.
They know it's mine.
Oh, wow. I love wrapping gifts, actually. My mom taught me how to wrap gifts. You know, just tuck the corners in just right. And then we used to have one of those homemade bow makers, you know, where you'd spin the ribbon through it and do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I forgot how to do that part. But the rest of it's really a lot of fun.
You know, you could
therapeutic.
You could catch a couple holiday shifts over at Macy's.
Maybe I could. Or I could go volunteer and help wrap gifts, which would be a lot of fun.
Nice. It would be a treat to see Sherry there. Well, hello.
It'd be amazing. She'd wrap your gift and be like 74 tomorrow, a little sunny, late chance of rain in the afternoon. Merry Christmas.
That's usually my gift, is a pre-forecast. And here's yours today. All right, we do. We've got easy travel weather in the west, but traveling's going to be tough along the east coast today. We've got heavy rain, gusty winds all up and down the eastern seaboard. And then once you move inland just a little bit, that meets some pretty cold air, and that's where where the snow will be piling up. So you see the green turning to white. There are lots of winter storm warnings already posted in these areas. The Appalachians up to New England, they're looking for maybe 7 to 14 inches of snow easily by early tomorrow for Thanksgiving. So this is really going to be some tough travel. Again, the really sloppy weather, though, will be right along the eastern seaboard, like, places like D.C. to Boston, where they are looking for some pretty heavy rain today, and even into New York. And of course, you don't want rain on the Macy's Day Parade. Back in the west, look how clear and mild. In the Pacific Northwest, scattered showers, and the Rockies will have snow showers into Thanksgiving. Across the northern plains, it will stay pretty chilly, too, through the holiday. 68 degrees for us. Look at this, 6 degrees above normal. We'll be flirting with record highs as we head into Black Friday for shopping. 70 for Thanksgiving. Grateful for the sunshine, the extra warmth. 73 on Friday. But we'll be cooler as we see a system coming our way, Kirsten, next week. Looks like it's going to bring us clouds, maybe some showers by Tuesday, and a little bit cooler. Maybe not those chilly 50s we first thought, but a chance of rain's not a bad thing for us.
That's right. Thank you so much, Sherry. We'll check back with you in a little bit as well. 20 past the hour now. Henderson police arrested 2 burglary suspects. They're now trying to determine who rightfully owns all of the stolen stuff. Officers recently arrested Brian Richie Walensky and Jessica Strong. According to police, since May, the 2 frequently targeted mostly unlocked cars parked in driveways and on neighborhood streets in Tuscany, Calico Ridge, Green Valley, and Whitney Ranch. After the arrest, police reclaimed a lot of stuff. We're talking GPSs, tools, even guns. Some of the items were never reported stolen, so police don't know who the rightful owners are.
Now, exclusive video you will only find here on 8 News Now. In a separate case, Henderson police are looking for those responsible for stealing $75,000 worth of jewelry and other valuables. It happened in the upscale McDonald Ranch community. One resident thinks the crime could be an inside job, and she is not happy that the crooks got away.
I'm listening to these, idiots in my home, going through my home, doing whatever in my home, and I just remember I kept asking her, are the police there yet? Are they there yet?
The suspects are 2 men in their late teens or early 20s. The resident says there were 2 other burglaries in the Henderson community since Friday, but Henderson police say they don't have any reports for those incidents. Now residents are planning a neighborhood watch program. We're going to check in with your commute before you head out the door. The early bird drivers, here's Demetria with your drive.
And we're starting at US 95 here at Decatur. This is actually the northbound US 95 off ramp to Decatur. Very quiet drive here. That means your southbound 95 lanes are driving away from your screen right now. Honestly, these northbound lanes look completely empty at this hour. Now, looking at I-15 and Desert Inn, kind of a different story. More people out here. You can see Palace Station off in the distance. Northbound I-15 moving away, and then southbound I-15 driving right at you. You won't run into any tie-ups heading it down the resort corridor this morning. So we're off to an excellent start this pre-Thanksgiving day. One accident out on Koval just south of Flamingo, and some other construction zones to talk about. But first, over to you, Brian and Kirsten.
Thank you so much, Demetria. It could be the cutest video you'll see all day.
Watch these pups loving life, all dressed up in Disney costumes. Stay with us here on this Wednesday morning. All right, not Thanksgiving just yet, but the Venetian already getting into the holiday spirit. The hotel held its spectacular holiday tree lighting last night.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, isn't that pretty? Tori Spelling, her husband Dean, and their children did the honors of flipping the switch on the 65-foot LED Christmas tree. Guests were also treated to a special performance by Human Nature as they performed songs from their new Christmas album.
And if you're looking for a winter-related activity, it may be time to check out Caesars Palace Ice Skating Rink. Guests can skate over the Palace Fountain and enjoy the sights of the Strip. The 4,400 square foot rink is the biggest the hotel has ever had, and organizers say it offers something for everyone.
Come down here, see us, visit us here. It's perfect for date night. It's perfect for families. This is an amazing venue, and we're really excited to host everyone. Travelers, locals, everyone, come on down.
The rink is open through the 11th of January. 90-minute skating sessions are available daily from 11 a.m. to 11:30 at night. Each session costs $20 and skate rentals are $5. Well, if you need something to brighten your day, we've got you covered. Check these pups out. These are dogs dressed as Disney characters. You can see Aladdin, Ariel from The Little Mermaid, Captain Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, and Elsa from the hit movie Frozen. Some of the dogs are wearing wigs to match their Disney costumes. Bonus, here's a dog dressed as Winnie the Pooh. The video posted on YouTube just a few days ago. It already has more than 270,000 hits. Whenever I see one of these type of stories, I think, what the dog must be thinking.
I think poor dogs.
Give me.
Oh my gosh, with the wigs, poor things.
Give me a backyard.
You're like, get me out of this. Get me out of it.
That's what he's doing. He's not shaking the hair. He's saying, how do I get this off?
She's saying, this is embarrassing, Mom.
We'll be just back after the commercial as we take you out with Let It Go.
Let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel.
Uber cut off the reason why a judge, despite liking the service, denied it in our state.
A suspect accused of murdering someone on the Strip is arrested, while police say he's connected him to the crime.
Plus, no more spring forward and fall back, why we could see an end to daylight saving time.
Welcome to a brighter morning. This is 8 News Now with Kirsten Joyce, Sherry Swentz, and Brian Loftus.
And a good Wednesday morning to you. I'm Brian Loftus.
I'm Kirsten Joyce.
And I'm Sherry Swentz. Boy, this week's just clipping right along. I realized I didn't have all my stuff for dinner tomorrow, so I got to go to the store today.
Oh, it's going to be packed at the store today, and it's going to be packed in town. They're saying some 310,000 people expected to be here for the holiday.
Coming to Las Vegas.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's a lot of folks.
It's a party here. We know how to do it on holidays.
We have a lot of places that can entertain, right, for Thanksgiving or any time of year. So bring it on, right?
You need to make a to-do shopping list.
I sure do.
To get all these items.
I'll be back.
All right, we're going to get into our top stories now. The ride-sharing company Uber is blocked in Nevada, at least for now.
A judge in Washoe County ruled in favor of a state's injunction last night. Uber launched in the Las Vegas Valley and up in Reno last month. Of course, it's an app that connects drivers with those who want a ride. The state argued Uber is breaking the law because it doesn't have permission to operate. Uber claims the company is doing nothing wrong. In the end, the judge ordered Uber to stop right now. The judge also told Uber it can have a great product, but while the case works its way through court, he's not willing to put the public's safety at risk.
One of the benefits of traveling at 4:31 a.m. is it's usually okay.
Usually, but sometimes there are a couple accidents out there, Demetria.
Yes, that is true, and we do have one along Koval, just south of Flamingo, real close to the Platinum Hotel area. To get around this one, you can use Paradise or Las Vegas Boulevard instead of Koval. I do expect it to clear relatively soon. It's been active for a couple hours now. Now over to Henderson, right by the interchange US 95 at 215. Smooth drive if this is your commute into work. Northbound 95, if you look closely, you can see my little speedometer here. People moving about 60 miles per hour, so expect about an 18-minute drive if you're heading toward the Charleston curve. Now up in the northeast side of the valley here at 215 and I-15. Really smooth, absolutely no delays along the North Beltway. We're going to check out the South Beltway and more construction around town. Here is the project at Main Street, and as you see, work has been shifted to now the west side of the roadway as crews have finished repaving the east side. Expect some delays here in a lot of other areas, but over to you, Sherry.
Well, if you get tired of changing your clocks, it's possible that we may see an end to daylight saving time here in Nevada. District 19 State Assemblyman Chris Edwards is proposing a bill that would get us out of the federal law requiring us to reset our clocks in the fall and the spring. It's something that has a lot of you sounding off on our Facebook page. How about we get rid of regular time and stay on daylight saving time all the time? I hate it when it gets dark at 5 o'clock. All right, Tiana says, love, love, love the idea of not following daylight saving time. And Joseph says, yes, yes, let's get rid of daylight saving time. So a lot of folks, I think it just kind of upsets your natural body clock, you know, to spring forward and then fall back. But I do love having the extra hour of daylight in the spring and summer. And then, you know, but when it gets dark so early,
it's a bummer, kind of.
It's hard.
I agree with our viewers. Says I hate it getting dark at 5 o'clock. It feels like the day is too short.
It does.
It really does.
But it also stinks to be off kilter with other people in the time zone. When I lived in Arizona, I'd call my parents. They're like, what time is it there?
That's That's right. You know, and some folks like Arizona, they don't have to worry about it, right? Because they don't observe it.
It's the worst. Sometimes you wake them up.
It'd
you
be
just forget.
easier. Yes. Well, we're still in the dark, but you know what? We're no longer on daylight saving time. This is our natural time with Mother Nature, and it gets early. It gets dark earlier naturally. So I don't know if that's, if that's really going to work or not. So this is the time of day that we kind of cool down as we head towards daylight, which now naturally, not on daylight saving time, is 6:28 a.m., the sunrise. It takes a few extra minutes though because of the mountains, and sunset on standard time is 4:28. So, you know, we kind of follow the farmers and the way they used to do, where they'd get up with the sun and they'd go to bed after dark and make a long day. It gets a little bit shorter. All right, so as we take a look, across the west, things have really cleared out for us. No clouds really in the satellite picture. It's just cool at night, and that gets our temperatures down. We're going to have some neighborhoods flirting with the 30s by the time daybreak arrives after 6:30. 54 degrees by 9 a.m., 61 degrees by noon. We'll be on our way to upper 60s this afternoon. We're going to warm it up. So Kirsten, Brian, lots of extra sunshine and extra warmth for us as we head towards our Thanksgiving Thursday. We'll find out just how high those temps are going to go as you sit down to dinner tomorrow.
Thanks so much, Sherry. Time right now is 4:35. A man under arrest for attacking another man near the Strip. Police say 22-year-old Calvin Boyden stabbed another man. This happened on the Harmon Avenue pedestrian overpass.
And that man died later at UMC. Boyden was identified as a suspect when officers reviewed some video footage. Another suspect in a different murder case is also under arrest, this time in California. 27-year-old Kevin Mead was stopped in Hemet near Palm Springs. He's the man accused of killing 27-year-old Cassandra Rosette over the weekend on Industrial near Circus. He was arrested and is awaiting extradition back here. He'll be booked into the Clark County Jail upon his arrival.
Many turkeys will end up on the Thanksgiving table tomorrow.
But we've got some that are spared. The I-Team introduces us to the turkeys that will escape tomorrow's feast.
Plus 8 News Now viewers helping those in need. How much food you donated for our annual turkey-thon. The holiday season is a joyous time for most families. That is, unless you're a turkey. Thanksgiving is a dark day for turkeys in general.
Yeah, but there is one group of birds that accidentally stumbled into a safe haven. They might be the safest turkeys in America.
The I-Team went in search of these seemingly wily birds. George Knapp is here with that story.
Nevada's magnificent Great Basin is a road less traveled, by humans anyway, but it's a place where the deer and the antelope play. Oh, and marmots. But something else is prowling the hills and forests these days, leaving behind odd tracks in the dirt. Foreign invaders have taken up residence inside the Great Basin National Park.
We've counted over 201 watersheds, so several hundred, if not 1,000, in the whole Stank Range, I would guess.
He's talking about turkeys, wild turkeys, captured in places like Texas and Idaho, and then released on multiple occasions all over rural Nevada. The Nevada Department of Wildlife started these releases back in the 60s and has continued to uncork them by the thousands so that hunters might one day bag a big bird for the dinner table. One such release back in 2003 occurred in White Pine County, just outside the national park.
And they pretty much immediately moved into the park and really have increased in abundance since then.
Was there a consultation with the park? Did they say, hey, is this a good idea, or were you left out of that conversation?
There wasn't a consultation. We were kind of informed, and then it happened pretty much immediately after that.
Did you figure they'd end up in the park?
We had a pretty good idea they'd want to go up into the better habitat. It's a lot moister, more mesic, and it's a better habitat up there.
We doubt the turkeys could read this sign or that they appreciate irony, but they managed to waggle their way into the one place where hunting is not allowed. The I-Team wanted to do more than just talk turkey. We decided to seek them out, face to beak. A turkey hunter prepares for a showdown. The man in the camo ninja getup is the I-Team's Matt Adams, and he's brought an insidious weapon into this quest, a devious device that makes a sound like a turkey. He hikes and he hides and he waits, and it took, all of 5 minutes in the park for us to spot our first flock of turkeys. Matt unleashed his secret weapon, as if whispering to the turkeys. drumstick, giblets. The turkeys looked in our direction as if wondering, who's the turkey with the strange accent? And then they kept on walking. The reality is turkeys are not hard to find in the park. In fact, they're all over the place. They walked in front of our cameras as if posing for us. There are so many of them roosting on or near the visitor center that they've created quite a few messes. That's not a pile of turkey dressing left behind.
I think the biggest problem are when they roost around people. They defecate on the lawns and some of the old trees and in high visitor use areas. They're probably the animal most seen by visitors, and visitors love them. You know, they're big, handsome birds, and they like to see them when they come here. Most visitors probably have no idea they're not native to Nevada or the park.
I think it has been turkey heaven for the turkeys, but maybe not so much for the people. I don't
Susan
know.
Wetmore feels a little responsible. She's one of the teachers whose students released the gobblers that have since invaded the park.
I don't know if I'm the person to blame, but I certainly helped release them.
Park rangers say they're not quite to the point where there are too many turkeys, but that day is coming. They'll never allow hunters into the park or let these turkeys end up in a deep fryer, but a roundup is likely at some point. Who knows, maybe when they launch their turkey gather, they'll be able to capture the great white that's loose in the park. You heard me.
There's even a white turkey that's kind of become mythical. I don't know if you guys saw it.
We heard about it.
Yeah, so there's this white turkey running around. People really enjoy seeing that. It's pretty amazing.
And for those doubters who think a white wild turkey is as rare as, say, Bigfoot, behold. George Knapp, 8 News Now.
How great is George Knapp?
I know.
Matt Adams, turkey whisperer. The turkeys eat stuff that is plentiful in the park: snakes, lizards, cheatgrass, pine nuts, and they aren't causing much damage other than that mess they leave behind. But it's really a good idea to introduce a non-native species into the wild, especially into a sensitive area like a national park. At this point, there are just too many to ever catch them all, so they are there to stay. But the Great Turkey Roundup is coming. We plan to be there when it happens.
Well, Thanksgiving, of course. Great time to get people here to our area. It's good for tourism. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority predicts some 310,000 people will visit Las Vegas over the holiday weekend. It's almost $200 million pumped into our local economy. Coming up at 5, 8 News Now reporter Karen Castro will have a live report on Thanksgiving travel.
And we have the final numbers from 8 News Now's Turkey-thon. Last week, we were collecting turkeys so everyone can have a Thanksgiving meal tomorrow. The turkeys will go to local families as well as military members. In total, we collected 2,316 turkeys, and we want to genuinely thank all of you, our viewers, who donated to our 8 News Now Turkey-thon.
So we're showing you a lot of pictures this morning of dogs dressed up. There was one dressed as a teddy bear.
Yeah, well, she's back. We'll show you the adorable video of her working out.
All right, remember back to Halloween? It was a cute little Shih Tzu dressed as a teddy bear. Well, she's back, and this time she's on a treadmill. Check out this adorable video of Munchkin working out dressed in her cute little teddy bear costume. It was posted just 2 days ago. It's already got nearly 800,000 hits on YouTube. She's getting more exercise than I am these days.
I'll tell you what, dogs, most dogs, my dog just wants to sleep. Sometimes go in the backyard, sometimes go on a walk. I can't even imagine trying to get him to stay on a treadmill. That's impressive. Dogs got a little ability to listen to commands, I guess.
It looks so real, though, the teddy bear part. I mean, it really looks like a teddy bear walking. What a sweet face. Hey, that coat would come in handy in a few spots.
Can you believe that?
Yes, it would, that's for sure.
That dog's been in the news twice in the past 4 weeks.
Popular doggy. All right, let's talk turkey travel, all right? A lot of folks heading out today. For us, it's going to be so easy in the west and southwest, but it's also going to be very sloppy in other places. Yes, sir, New York City. Well, they're looking for rain showers there today. 46 degrees for the high, and by tonight, that turns to snow. Overnight lows are going to be flirting with freezing, but there are going to be some other places that are going to be delightful. Look at Los Angeles today at 84 degrees. Easy driving into Southern California, Arizona as well. Denver, not bad. Partly cloudy and 50 degrees for your Wednesday afternoon. Seattle's looking at rain. It's not terribly cold, but mid-50s when it's raining is still going to feel pretty chilly. Chicago, partly cloudy, 34, and looking for snow tonight. All right, so here's the big nor'easter that's riding up along the East Coast. The biggest problem, I think, is going to be gusty winds with the heavy rain and then the heavy snow. And we're looking at maybe over a foot of snow inland from the Appalachians all the way up to New England. Our delightful Thanksgiving forecast, we're grateful. 70 degrees tomorrow, lots of buttery sunshine, and great leftover super weather for shopping on Friday. Mostly sunny through your weekend, and then we do a slow slide to the 60s. Sunday, Monday, more clouds, and then a system drops from the north. Brian, looks like it's going to bring us a chance of showers on Tuesday, and we'll get a little cooler into the low 60s next week. So, boy, we're going to gobble up all this great weather for our holiday week.
Thanks so much, Sherry. Looks good. Metro Police are still looking for the person who ran over a grandfather and his 1-year-old granddaughter, and now family members are pleading for answers. 63-year-old grandfather Michael Grubbs was killed in a crash that happened yesterday morning near Rainbow and Warm Springs. Grubbs and his granddaughter were walking on the side of the road when they were hit. The baby girl's father says the driver didn't care what she did because she just took off.
Just hope that this person feels remorse and understands that she hurt a family. To get somewhere, she could have been 5 minutes late. It's better to show up late than not show up at all.
Police say the driver was a woman in her 20s or 30s. She was driving a dark gray Honda Civic. The license plate begins with the numbers 948. The car has tinted windows and has some damage to the front right area. Any information, please call Crime Stoppers. And that number 3, well, actually, we're going to check in with Demetria right now and get a look at the roads.
Thank you so much, Brian. A vehicle fired to report off DI just east of Lindell. If you live over in this area, kind of close to Cashman Middle, you can go ahead and use Spring Mountain as an alternate for DI. And also, if you're really familiar with the area, Pioneer would work as an alternate as well. Now, we're going to look at I-15 in Prim and definitely south of the valley this morning where things are very quiet. But as Kirsten said earlier, about 310,000 people expected to visit the valley for the holiday weekend. So you know what, I'd expect some delays along I-15 right around Prim area as people make their way from Cali to here, and also people leaving the valley heading to California. Now, in the valley right now, I-15 and Sunset looking pretty good. Not seeing too much traffic. This is right around the Tropicana exit. Your northbound 15 lanes are the ones you see moving away, and then southbound I-15 driving right at you. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Demetria. Many people getting ready to take off for the long holiday weekend.
Coming up at 5, we're live at McCarran with what you need to know if you plan to catch a flight on one of the busiest travel days of the year. The best kind of Wednesday's Child Thanksgiving story we could offer today would be one of a successful adoption. Dave Cavassier is here with just that. Liliana finds a family, a big family.
There, in the midst of this huddle of kids, is Liliana, just to the left of center with the black and white striped shirt.
1, 2.
2 of her 3 new brothers are with her, and most of the rest of the kids are cousins by adoption. But this big extended family is the reason her parents decided to adopt.
Actually, through my sister, Charlene, who has adopted 6 through the foster care system, all siblings. She was my inspiration to for us to become foster parents.
Christina and her husband Robert, who's a North Las Vegas police officer, became foster parents first and had several children in their home before Liliana. But they knew she was the one the minute they met her.
We got a phone call and they knew we had openings in our house. So we went down and we talked to Liliana and we asked her, do you want to come home with us? And she said yes. So she came home, and from then on.
The minute she walked into our home, we knew that she forever could be ours.
Of course, the decision involved brothers Kobe and Jordan, who offered their take on having a new little sister.
She's definitely a daddy's girl. As girly as she seems, she's actually kind of a tomboy, so she likes to try to pick fights with us, and we'll wrestle around with her.
Taking cooking lessons from wannabe chef and older brother Jordan, you can see Liliana has become a full member of the family, even sweet-talking her way into getting some pet lizards of her own.
We feed her
crickets.
Robert and Christina have no doubts about their decision and had this to say when I asked why other families should consider adopting.
Well, they definitely have to be all in. They can't be on the fence about it. You know, you're changing somebody's life forever by adopting.
This is the best way to go. I mean, you can change a child's life, and that's what matters the most.
Dave Crevassier, 8 News Now.
So many hundreds of foster children in Clark County still waiting for adoption. Please call the Adoption Exchange to begin the journey to foster adoption parenting. The number 702-436-6335.
Great story there. New statistics show a growing trend on college campuses. At least 100 college campuses have opened up food pantries in the last 6 years alone. Big increase. In 2008, one estimate found only 4 campuses had food pantries. One survey found almost half of students at UC Santa Barbara said they skip meals to save money at least a couple of times a month. The university now has a food pantry open 3 days a week for students. Other big-name schools like Michigan State and University of Missouri have also added food pantries on their campuses.
University of Minnesota researchers found that 3- and 4-year-olds who go to school for a full day instead of a half day are better prepared for kindergarten. According to the study's author, those kids had greater gains in literacy and language development, math skills, socio-emotional learning, and also physical health. The kids who attended a full day also had a better attendance record in school later on.
They learned a lot there.
They
come home and
learned so much. I'm amazed, you know?
Come home and tell you stuff, and then I just act like I knew. Oh, yeah, I knew that. Gotta go Google it.
And the sight words. I'm so impressed when you do the flashcards. You're like, you know those words.
It's impressive. We'll be right back here at 8 News Now.